When I was a little kid, we used to go up into the Appalachian Mountains where all my family's from, all the cousins and my dad and his brothers, and we would follow my papaw man up the side of a mountain, up to Old Grassy was the name of the mountain, and it was, within eyesight of the little log cabin that he grew up in the early 1900s, and he would build a big fire like this on the side of Old Grassy, and, winter, spring, summer, didn't matter. We would sit around that fire, and he'd grill hamburgers in a cast iron skillet, and he would tell stories of growing up in those mountains, and we just hung on every word that he said. He was bigger than life, and you could just get lost in his stories. And what made me so compelled and so attracted to the stories of my grandfather and sitting around that fire was it gave me such a sense of purpose. When I talked to my papa, I always felt like I knew who I was. I had a sense of connection to my past and my future and my present, and I knew where I was going. I had a sense of myself, of my identity. And the conversations would always turn from his past to our future, and we would talk about what we were here to do and the big things. And he was always the kind of guy who would really drive you to question your purpose and to think about what you were here to do and to not pull back from that. And it had such an impact on me for the rest of my life as I struggled through the challenges of becoming, an Army Green Beret and going into combat and doing the things that my country asked of me to do, and understanding that purpose was such a big part of that. Purpose is essential to any rooftop leader. And it's our theme for this week, the second week in January of 2018, with our monthly theme of mindset, right? To inspire people to follow you, and when they don't necessarily want to follow. The mindset is everything. Last week we talked about vision. Well, this week we're talking about purpose. Purpose is absolutely essential to move people to action. And especially in a world where trust is low, where people are reluctant to stand up for themselves and buy from you, invest in you, donate to your cause. A crowded marketplace, people are disconnected, low trust. Regardless of the reasons, we're more disconnected today than we've ever been in our history. And so moving people to action requires serious leadership skills, and understanding your purpose is absolutely essential. Professor Clausen from the University of Virginia, who I co-teach with at one of the commercial clients, he says that this requires inside-out leadership. That's what people really follow, and he's right. It is this sense of purpose that people are attracted to, especially when times are tough. So what is it about purpose? Why is that so important? I mean, you hear it all the time, but what is it? Why is that so important? Well, the reason is we are humans, the most meaning-seeking creatures on the planet. Did you know that? We absolutely crave meaning. We are social creatures. We get by and survive by grouping and relying on each other. And so our identity and our sense of purpose or meaning is everything to us. This is universal anywhere in the world. Mark Twain said the two most important days in any person's life are the day they were born and the day they figure out why, right? Our meaning, our sense of purpose is essential in how we operate in our lives. In the military, we give a mission statement. I don't care what the mission is, whether it's to fly your plane into Baghdad or to jump onto a target under enemy fire. We always give two things at a minimum to an American warrior: task and purpose. Because what we have found is that the American warrior will do anything in the world that you ask them to do of their own will, their own free will, if they know the answer to one simple question: why? And that's true of everybody, whether that's your customer who's trying to decide to click the buy now button, or whether that's the donor that's trying to decide whether to invest in you, or your employee who's trying to decide to follow your vision when you're not around. Why? Why do I need to do this? And you cannot explain why someone else should take action if you don't understand your own why. Simon Sinek was right when in his TEDx talk when he said, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So here's what we're going to do. This week, we're going to be talking about purpose a lot. And I want to help you get clear on your purpose because, you know, it's so easy to cover it up. We all are here to do something bigger than ourselves, right? We're all here to play a bigger game. And you've probably experienced in your life that the happiest moments in your life, the most rewarding moments in your life are when you are achieving a purpose that's bigger than you are, right? Because we are meaning-seeking creatures. We crave meaning. Who am I and why am I here? Are two questions that every human being is always seeking to answer, including you. And it's easy to cover it up with today's transactions and rat race and soccer practices and everything else that we have to do. Before you know it, we've covered that purpose up and we're playing to somebody else's purpose or somebody else's agenda. And even if we're making tons of money, we're not fulfilling that sense of purpose and meaning that we crave as humans. And we got to have it. We've got to have it or bad things can happen to us in our life. So this week we're going to be talking about purpose. And, you know, it's not always an easy thing to figure out. You know, this is a question I think we never stop asking ourselves, but we owe it to ourselves to try to get as much clarity on this as we can. The more clear we are on our purpose, the more we're able to move people to action when it really counts. All right, so I want to spend some time on that this week. I want you to spend some time on this week and really work at this. So as we start the new year, let's don't just make resolutions. Let's do purpose-based work. Let's get clear on who we are and why we're here. Right? So this week, what I'd like you to do, I've got a little bit of homework for you. The first call to action I'd like you to do is I'd like you to watch Simon Sinek's TEDx video. Just Google Simon Sinek, why TEDx, and it'll pop up. Watch it. There's a short version, a long version. Watch the long version, and really just think about what he's saying because he breaks it down as to why is so important. And then the other thing I'd like you to do, this was really pretty simple, but we avoid it like crazy. I would like you to go someplace quiet and just reflect for 5 minutes and ask yourself this question. Am I playing the game that I was put here to play? Am I playing the game that I was put here to play? Or am I playing somebody else's game? Right? Have I covered up the game that I'm supposed to be playing? That's a really important question. And the cool thing is, you know right here, right? You know in your heart and in your gut if you're playing the game you were meant to play. And if you're not, then be honest with yourself. And you don't have to have the answer to what that game is or what your purpose is. We'll figure that out. We're gonna take the journey to figure that out. But that's the first question we want to ask ourselves, right? And if you are playing it, ask yourself, am I playing that game as well as I could? Am I as clear on my purpose as I could be, right? Because those are the people that I work with. I work with people who want to play a bigger game and want to get more clear on your purpose. That's your birthright. That's what you're here to do. And the thing is, we need this from you. We need that bigger game from you. Our country is starved for authentic, transparent, effective leadership that moves people to action. And you have it, but you got to be clear on the why. So this week, official Scottman on Facebook, at Real Scottman on Twitter, rooftop_leader on Instagram, and just all over the place. We're going to be talking about purpose. And I really want you to give some thought on that. Watch Simon Sinek's video and really look hard at yourself to see if you're playing that bigger game that you should be playing. And if not, then we're going to get to work on what it is so that can drive your actions in 2018. Thanks for what you do. And until next time, I'll see you on the rooftop.